best type of rest is God's rest. So let's talk about that today because God promises that to us. What is God's rest? God's rest is a state of peace. It's a state of redemption, a state of completion. It's a state of not scurrying and working so hard to try to earn your salvation and trying to earn these things from God that are freely given to us by Him. So there are some requirements to enter this rest. That is faith and also obedience. So we're going to take a look in the book of Hebrews today. So the author of the book of Hebrews is debatable, but the audience is definitely the Jews, the Hebrews, Hebrew Christians, and this was spoken to them for possibly for a few reasons. One was maybe there was the spiritual immaturity that was there. Maybe they were looking at going back to Judaism, potentially because at that time of the persecutions of the Christians at that time, or they just didn't understand the biblical truths and promises that God gave to us of His rest. So let's talk about what God's rest is, and then also let's talk about um, those requirements. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Hebrews 4, 1 through verse 1 through 2. Therefore, since the promise of entering his rest still stands, let us be careful that none of you have been found to have fallen short of it. For we also have had the good news of the gospel proclaimed to us, just as they did. But the message they heard was of no value to them because they did not share the faith of those who obeyed. Faith and obedience is seen there, right? So let's also look at Hebrews 4, but verse 6. Therefore, since it still remains for some to enter that rest, and since those who formerly had the good news proclaimed to them did not go in to that rest because of their disobedience. So again, we have to remember faith and obedience are required to enter God's rest as well. So we want to definitely remember that. And there's different types of God, of rest that God gives to us. Just look at my journal here. Those types of rest include physical rest, mental and emotional rest, spiritual rest, Sabbath rest, and also eternal rest. Right. So this is going to be a two-part video here because I've only got maybe a couple of minutes to get it in, and I want to go a little bit longer about this. But are you in God's rest? Have you experienced God's rest?